What's good, y'all? Welcome to Reddit Tape, and today we're going to be talking about the Week 3 matchup with the Miami Dolphins against the Las Vegas Raiders, and a lot of things got answered in this matchup, honestly. We're going to talk about it, but if y'all can, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and appreciate y'all tuning in. So to kick things off, the first things first I want to talk about is the right tackle position, and ultimately I think that Alex Leatherwood is going to get benched. He went out there today, and today was the ultimate competitor in Jalen Phillips to actually see what we have in Alex Leatherwood ultimately. We didn't really see any competition prior to this. Travon Walker was the guy that went up against Brandon Parker. And I kind of talked about this in the live today, that it was somewhat of wasted reps because Brandon Parker is no longer with us. He ended up getting hurt when we could have seen someone like Jermaine Illuminor getting those reps against Walker. But today we get a competitor in Jaden Phillips, which we talked about earlier in the live as well, that we wanted to see that right tackle go up against Jalen Phillips, see what happens. And Leatherwood ended up getting his ass whooped, let's be honest. He gets lost on the perimeter when it's time to really get at that, you can say, 45-degree angle. When he has to get into that set, he doesn't do very well, and he ends up reaching very hard. So Alex Leatherwood is probably going to get benched. I don't think it's going to be for Munford. I think it's going to be for Jermaine Illuminor. He did very well on the left side. He goes in there on the right side, and he ends up stepping up very big. And I think he's solid. We've seen him last year as well play on the right side. He ends up getting benched for Brandon Parker. I wasn't sure why that was, because I think Jermaine Illuminor definitely plays the pass protection a lot better. But probably going to see him week 1 get that start, and I wouldn't be surprised, and I think I'd be comfortable with that until proven otherwise. Now, Lester Cotton did have his hands full today. Lester Cotton is somebody I wanted to talk about. He had his hands full, and I want to see how that progresses, because Dylan Parham is the guy we brought in who could potentially be the future center, but I think he could step in and play a lot of other positions, especially at that right guard spot. Now, if Lester Cotton doesn't keep it up, then we can see what Dylan Parham has in store. But I think this coaching staff is kind of sold on Lester Cotton at this point. That was touching bases on the offensive line. And I kind of wanted to go into the wide receiver core because I think it's really deep. And after seeing DeMarcus Robinson get released, and he was swooped up immediately by the Baltimore Ravens, it kind of tells you that this wide receiver room is going crazy, man. You got Tyron Johnson, DJ Turner, Keelan Cole. And when you talk about these three guys, they could easily each make the team based on their performance. Now, I would say the front runner is probably Keelan Cole. I feel like he belongs with starters in the NFL, and he's proven it in the past. He's done it with multiple teams. Now, when it comes to Tyron Johnson, I think his ceiling is a lot higher. You talk about Tyron Johnson, he could take the top off, and he could run routes pretty well, and he has great speed. I think it would just be a liability when it comes to his hands. We have to see that consistency. DJ Turner is another guy that a lot of people like, but I think he is last place when it comes to this matchup, unless you bring in Collins. But I think DJ Turner, he does have a ceiling, and he does have a lot of versatility, being that he could be in that special teams role, and he could come in, go into the slot, and he showed off some toughness today that I really liked. But I would definitely still put him third in that race of the wide receiver room. I think Matt Collins, personally, I think Matt Collins is last on that list. He has to be, in my opinion. Tyron Johnson has too much of a high ceiling to really let him go. But then Keelan Cole's really proven that he's a solid receiver, that he deserves to be out there with starters in the NFL. He would be my number 3 receiver in Keelan Cole. Tyron Johnson would be my number 4 to come in to really try to shake things up. Now, that's where you have DJ Turner and Matt Collins. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Would you guys choose DJ Turner or Matt Collins? That's what it comes down to me. But if you think otherwise, let me know down in the comments what receiver you would actually cut in order to keep this wide receiver room the way it is. Moving on to the defense side of the ball, which I'm not going to talk about too much, but I think they do very well. There's certain times that you can see a weakness, but ultimately they end up stacking up pretty well, especially with their backs against the wall. Now, the run game can be susceptible in the middle of the field, but I think today when we've seen Hankins make a big play, last week we've seen Andrew Billings make a big play, if we're able to keep some big guys in the middle like that on a rotation, it's going to help us in the long run. Hankins came through. We haven't seen him in a while, but like I said, he made that play, and he didn't really be out there. He wasn't out there for long. I think he was out there for one series, if I believe. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but he did well. And that's what he comes in here to do. And some people say he's one-dimensional and he doesn't do a lot, but I don't think you need a guy that's always versatile in every single position, especially if they do the one thing they do pretty well. Looking at it, we do need defensive tackles, and right now we don't have much choice to be picky, especially since we're going into the last week of the preseason. So that pretty much wraps up my analysis. I would like to say Jonathan Abram looked pretty good out there. Demarcus Webb had a good play, but I think he definitely has struggled in time. So I would like to see what Bryce Cosby brings as well. The special teams look pretty solid. The coaching staff is doing a great job. Our team looks disciplined, well coached, and we're actually 3-0 in this preseason, guys. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think so far about Josh McDaniels and this new regime. Appreciate y'all tuning in. If y'all can, make sure to hit that like button again. Make a play. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And until next time, Raid the Tape.